Let's go.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful sikha from the Rebbe. Usually we do Rashi, and this time it's a picky obvious really, but it's all with to do with this week's parasha. So in the beginning of the last Pedic Shemishi, it says Asara Maimoris Nivra Asara Maimoris Nivra Oil. Atam Alayma, Malem Mam Echad Yochel Liporos. Rabbi Shakru created the world with one Maimon. Oil Liporim and Rishem Shem Abden is Oilam Shenivra Basar Maimoris. Gluten Soccer. Let's say Shekam is Oilam Shenivra Basar Maimoris. Because the Eibishter, it's like, if you spend, if you could make something in 1 day or you make it in 10 days, more precious when you make it in 10 days. And therefore, a person that helps you is more precious and then gets more reward, and the person that destroys it gets more punishment. So why do we have 10 generations from Adam until Noach? To show you how much the Eibishter has patience. How much he has erech hapayim. Shekol hadoyrus machis novoy. They got him angry. And the Eibishter didn't bother them. Till finally enough was enough, and he brought the mabel. Again, to teach you how much is erech hapayim for the Eibishter, how much the patience the Eibishter has. They got the Eibishter angry. Avram Avinu got the spot of everyone. למה לא שאלת את זה עד היום?
I thought it's much of it. Leach was
Yeah.
How did that actually
Okay, Kabbalah.
well,
Okay, so let's learn the Meforshim. You're asking a good question. So let's learn the Meforshim. Let's start with Rashi. Asara Doiris, say Mishnah Beis, say V'chasher B'Pasha. You see, last week's Pasha is 10, this week's Pasha is 10. And Bereshis the end is 10 Doiris, and Manoich at the end is 10 Doiris. L'idiyah kamu arech hapayim, l'sheim tem l'shem kol kach, l'nifra shem yeshuv. The Eibishter waited and waited and waited, it maybe they'll do tshuva. Schar kulam. Lafish ad ata loy hoya tzadik ba'olam kol kach, she'in chal chelke v'chelkem ba'olam haba. That there was no tzaddik until Avraham Avinu that could eat up all the ganed. Hasach shero lekulam ilu chazer b'tshuva kibel Avraham Avinu. There was a schar that they would have got had they done tshuva. They didn't do tshuva, Avram got it. But Noach loy ne'ema. By Noach it doesn't say Atshuva Noach v'kibel schar kulam. Why? Why should Noach get everyone's schar? He wasn't such a big tzaddik, even though the song says Noach was a big tzaddik. From the Hendelach v'Sviselach, he was a big tzaddik, but he wasn't such a big tzaddik. But then there's another girsa that Rashi says Valina need the Kolchkein Shema V'der Tzadikim She Tzadigomu. So Fakir Rashi like so. No, I don't like this teretz. Okay, let's look in the bottom of the Ben Yoin. So the Doid is Menoach Bad Abraham. Omer of Asenes Kfanel Baruch Shemeis Noach Avram Avinu V'Mishum Mishmai Nasham. When Noach died, Avram was Noach years old. Ach Timna Doid is Timtza Sora Doid Benei. But yet there's 10 generations. Kafal Pi Shenoach Herecham. Asodas Doidus Hem Nachshaven. Lopel there was 10 Doidus in between. I think I'm going to find the Panish Kola Doidus Hoy Machis and Vam. Achabo Avram Avinu. Veloy Omar Bekan Ashenif Ramen. Ki Avram Avinu Mila Kol Chisroinus Ve'osa Toiva Vat Kol Ra V'Tzilam Min HaParonis. That Avram Avinu filled all the Chisroinus that they left. And he saved them from the Paronis. He wasn't such a big tzaddik. Therefore, Avram Avinu got the schar, and Noach didn't. Not the schar kum. Av b'shekol adam yesh lei chelik b'gan eden b'chelik b'gehenim. Im yiske yinchel chelke b'gan eden v'im yischai b'dini yitlana b'gehenim. Every yid, every person has a shtickle waiting for him in Gehenim, and a shtickle in Gan Eden. He's got to take one shtickle. So he decides if he wants to take a shtickle in Gehenim or he wants to take a shtickle in Gan Eden. He picks. Funny Gemara. Aber mach ich gucken das Ablass Teufel für sich und ist Chaverim came to with Tzivyatzmai Mitzvah then is a sheet will help chelek chaveri beganed. Well, then not Lavrom Venus Sacha Kulam. So Shanem Esla Shem Aferi Tisecha. If you see Dosh Torah, Mr. Rashelis Asoigba. If you see his generation, people are not learning Torah, you learn extra Torah. Because you're going to take everyone's chelik in Gan Eden. Poshte Kram Mechich Esla Lashem B'Shvil Hashem. V'Demer Li'imli Ochihu K'me B'Shvili Yeferi Tisecha. Achit Shekulam Efirem Talmud Torah. Yosu Ata Eis Lasses B'Shvil Hashem B'Shar Adoiris. Chas v'sholem lo yisishtakach toidem Yisrael. Moshel Melech shekol avoda v'boigdim boi chutz me'ech shebehem. Haloi ba'is zman tzarech lalech zimei be'emes v'lei sholel mishor zman v'gam kol yom yevenu Melech Abba Rabba. The seder masa zeh mimaso is kulom. If everyone is loyal to the king and Chaim Yankel is also loyal to the king, but there's a rebellion. Right now, Chaim Yankel is the only guy loyal to the king. So the king says, this guy, it turns out, is the real guy who's loyal to me. So, Yavenu Amelech Abba Rabba Kol Yoma. Okay. So he's saying that in the generation, when you see, let's say for one of the Siddish Rebbes, that there was one of the Siddim that said, how come when he goes to business in Germany, to Leipzig, Sedaventzach Geschmack, and his town, Sedaventzach Mishtazoi. So he said that that's what Chazal say, you know. In Leipzig, the Kedusha has nowhere to go. So you start davening a little bit with Kavona, she's very happy, it's a Medim. When your shtetl was the Ir Malech, you got to work a little harder to get the inspiration going. Okay. So again, the Shaila is a push to Shaila. By Noach, we say that the Abish has a lot of patience. He waited. How do we know? He waited 10 generations. Then he brought the Mabel. And by Avram Avinu, we said, why is it that Noach didn't get Avram got? So all the Mepharshim say there's a big difference. And Avram, because we know that Rebbe had a big koch, that Chassidus says that Noach was a tzaddik in pelts. A tzaddik in pelts. Tzaddik in parava. Maza tzaddik in parava. He's warm. He's good. It's good for him. We say that he was building the Teva for 120 years, and everyone that asked him, he said, blah, blah, blah. He wasn't doing Miftzayim. He was not doing Miftzayim. The problem with Noach, he didn't look up and down a plane and asked, are you Jewish? Are you Jewish? Ata Yehudi? Or Tzel Aniach Tefillin? He didn't. He was building the Teva, he's building. If they asked him a question, he said, wait 5 minutes. And then he would say, what do you want? Why are you building? You guys are going to burn. You guys are going to rot. You guys are going to fry. You guys are going to get flooded. Okay, I have no time for you. I got to build because I'm going to say, Abish is going to save me and my family. So he didn't go out of his way. Shenken Avram Avinu and Soda, Nefesh, also Bechoram, Avram is Megayer Anoshim, Soda Megayer. They did a lot of Miftzayim. They did Miftzayim day and night. They did Miftzayim. Local Avram. Avram did a lot of Miftzayim. Okay. So that teretz is a good teretz, but the Rebbe says still you're missing salt and pepper over here. The Eibishter made a Gan Eden. He made a Gan Eden. Right? Originally, he put the Adam Rishon in the Gan Eden. Adam messed up. He got kicked out. But still, there's a Ruchnas Dik Gan Eden. It is a place for reward. So every person has a Chelik B'Gan Eden, a Chelik B'Gehenna. So the first 10 generations were lots. You know, people lived about 1,000 years. It doesn't make sense that there should be a Psamokim in Gan Eden that's empty. The first 10 generations, a second, were all Rishonim. So if you say Rishonim also have a Chelik in Gan Eden, so what happened? So that's just Ma'aleh Chaluda. It's just rusty. So the first 10 generations, if there is Gan Eden even for Rishonim, so who is taking care of the Gan Eden of the first 10 generations? And if you're going to tell me they're Rishonim and therefore they don't have, so what's with the other 10 generations? And B'chlal, the Rebbe has another question. The Pasuk says, Hashem Keil Rachum V'cham Erech HaPayim V'Rav Chesed. Pasuk says that the Eibush is Erech HaPayim. So what is the Mishnah telling me? That the whole story of Bereshis is Noach, is Lohidia, to let me know Kama Erech Apayim Lafonam. That let me know Kama Erech Apayim. The Pasuk says, Hashem, Keil Rachem Lachanam, Erech Apayim. So what's the pshat that the Parshas Bereshis and Noach is the Lech Lecha is telling me Kama Erech Apayim. Okay. The answer to the Rebbe says like this. That there is two types of there's the Maimon from the Alter Rebbe about Seifes Sapora. There is a certain type of Ra that there's only one way to deal with it. You got to burn it. So get rid of it. The Ra Gomur, you have to get rid of it. The Alter Rebbe says the Koyach HaMesava, the Koyach to have Taiva, you could use Lekadusha. The Etzem of the Inyan of the Pora, the Koyach Taiva, the Koyach Taiva person, he wants to have more and more.
Taiva is a power.
Power is a power. It could be for Kedusha. Yeah, I always, I have the saying that I always say it's the second steak. What's the pshat, the second steak? What's the pshat, the second steak? I always say it in the house. It's a saying, oh, the second steak. What's the pshat, the second steak? In this world, there's always a limit to how much person, I love a steak dinner. What happens when you finish your steak? Yandik. You have a stomachache. So you have a stomachache and a little bit more plaque in your arteries. Yandik. Yandik, the schmaltz goes into the arteries and it's good. And do you want someone offer you another steak? No,
the kind of
yeah, don't happen. But so they tell the Nefesh Bahamas, you want something geschmack, if you learn the Lekutei Torah and Lekutei Sichos, first of all, you could have a second Sicha and a third Sicha. There's no calories, there's no fat. And when you learn one, you can learn a second. So you tell the Nefesh, the Nefesh of Bahamas is a koyach of taiva. Tell him the steak is not as always satisfying. You're never going to want a second steak, but you're always going to want a second Sicha. So why kricha in the steak? Krich in the Sicha. So the koyach hamasava you could be mahapach, but the ra you have to burn. But there is things that we say that a person has to be as hapach hashaychel nahira. So certain ra that has to be burnt, like we say that legabi tuma. There's a lashon chazal legabi tuma that shviroson zohi taharoson. Dafke, we were learning recently. We're learning now mikvos. Well, last week. Now it's the party is over. Those that are learning Rambam, we had a party for about a few weeks because the Sichos Tumah V'Tara, by Vashtei Tzavigo Anish. Yeah, there's three types of kalim, and there's the difference. What's good for klicheres is bad. Yeah, we trust the Rambam. What's tummy by aklimateches is tor by klietz, and what tor by klietz is tummy by aklimateches. Trust the Rambam. The Rambam's go worked out properly. Let's trust it. It's good, but there is. Especially by Kli Mateches, Shviros and Zui Tarasan, if you fix it, the Chazeret Lahem Tuma, a lot of reason for it. It has to be broken. The only way it's going to be Torah is if it break it, and it has to stay broken. It has to stay broken. Anisht, Chazeret Lahem Tuma, Yishonas, Derabonon, but still, there's a concept of Shviros and Zui Takanosan. So that is a certain type of ra that is only through shvira. Then there's a certain ra that there is a tikkun to it. There is a tikkun to it. Like the Gemara says, the whole story about the Talmud that wanted to sleep with a zoin and he went bakrachei ayam. The Gemara in Menoch is that memdala and the tzitzis and oisam atzos sheitzi loy be yisur itzi loy be. That the same matzos that the Zoina had put on the bed in order to do Isa, now she put on the bed in order to do a mitzvah. So there's two types of things. So the Ra in the first 10 generations was a Ra Gomur. There was nothing to be mahapech. It was a Ra Gomur, Shvirosan Zotokanosan, and Hevilei Me'amapech. Second 10 generations, it wasn't a Ra Gomur. It needed to have a tikkun. And Avram Avinu was metaken. He made a tikkun. All the missed opportunities that they had, Avram was metaken them. Avram, through his avodas Hashem, was metaken them. So therefore, it makes sense. Taka, the first 10 generations, there was nothing from them. There was nothing left from them in Gan Eden. There was nothing because they're Ragomur, Shvirosan Zutakanosa. But the other 10 generations were not so Ragomur. And them it says, and Rashi says the big difference. The first 10 generations was a different type of evil. Hishchis Kolbosser is dark, it was a different type of evil. So the only thing to do with that is to kill them, to burn them, to destroy them, flood them. Shenkin, the other 10 generations, L'Shech to be Metaka, L'Shech to be Mehapech. So therefore, the first 10 generations, there's Taken, there was no Schach. And then the Rebbe says, what's Taken Pshat? Leidia Kama Erech HaPayim. What does it mean, Leidia Kama Erech HaPayim? What does it mean, Leidia Kama Erech HaPayim? The Rebbe says, Leidia Kama Erech HaPayim is like. The Pasuk says, Hashem Ki Racham Chan Erech HaPayim. How big is the Erech HaPayim? The number 10 is Shlemus. There's no thing after 10. There is in Lashon Kodesh. I mean, even the numbers, 10 is Shlemus. Then you add zeros. You have to 10, you can have a zero is 100, and another zero is 1,000, you have 100,000, you have a million. You keep on adding zeros. So, what does it mean? It means that the Eibishter waited that there was such a ra, it was so rotten that it was rotten to the core, and the Eibishter waited until it was rotten, until everything was rotten, and it was fully rotten. Then the Eibishter said, "Okay, it's time for the Mabul Shviros and Zuitakanasa." But the other 10 generations was the Eibishter again waited. Avram was able to be metakin. The Rebbe says, "What is a lesson of Avodas Hashem? What did the lesson? Goes by a little tkuf in a person's life. What did I do? How many daf Gemara did I learn? How many prakim Rambam did I learn? How much tzedakah did I give? How many yidden did I mekarev? How many shtiklach Torah did I tell tzanach yidden? How much avas Yisrael did I do? Take a pen and paper. There's nothing in the chart. So a person said, it's not true. The Eibishter has erech apayim, so the Eibishter waits. But a yid has to know that every day is valuable. So if Chas v'Shalom, a tkufa goes through in the life and we see we didn't accomplish, we have to do two things. Number one, we have to bring a mab. We have to be mevatel the things that are negative. Number two, we have to do avoid like Avram Avinu, to be metaken, just like Avram Avinu was metaken the over. We have to work extra hard to be mishapcha sheikha lahoida, to be metaken even those days that we missed in the past. And that's shaykh. That's what he has to do. So that's the lesson of Avodas Hashem. That's the lesson of Avodas Hashem.
By Noach, who wasn't able to attack him?
By Noach, Shvirosan Zutakanosan. So if you want to attack him,
Just a marble.
Just marble.
אבל מה השני?
כי איש
לדור
כל
השני
בוש.
הגיע אברהם.
כי איש כל בוש.
Yeah. That's it. There's nothing. It was Ra Gomur, Shvirosan Zutakanosan.
The Migdal Baba wasn't such as bad as
Rashi says it was different. It was over there because it was Achtus. It was different. It was a different type of sin. And therefore, the first
against the Irish.
still,
But Avdus.
But still that
like
Avdus.
when it's Avdus.
המפלגה קראו. אבל כל המזל שלהם שבא להם אברהם, זה ניצלו. אם היה מישהו בדור הראשון, גם הם היו ניצלים, מה אתה רוצה מהם? אתה שולל אותם בגלל שהם תקננים. אבל הדור השני הבאת להם את אברהם. אם היית מביא מישהו, אז גם הוא יכול להיות שיהיה בסדר.
לא,
למה לא?
לא. זה מה
יש
שרבא
דבר שזה רע בעצם, ויש דבר שאפשר לשנות. זה רע
But
בעצם.
there was, he's talking right, there was chamber ever, they had a yeshiva, was they were not tzaddikim?
Yeah, but they were not the same like they were Rosh Hashiva. It's exactly.
They just wanted the buffer to come and
Yeah,
let me
exactly.
collect by head.
Yeah, it does. They have best chavrusas. Making the chavrusas a gathering in front of yeshiva,
Huh.
making shatchonis between chavrusas.
Right. They were not doing
Yeah,
what Avram did.
You didn't have חברוס איתנו?
and no, the Hashem Eva had chavrusas. Shalom Avinu didn't waste his time on that. He just went out and didn't have time. Okay. Speaking about Rebbe had a Fabrengen, the Rebbe said a story talking about this on Shabbos, that there was a story with the Baal Shem Tov, that there was a person that lost his horses. I told the story in the Fabrengen before Slichos, that a man who lost his horses, and he came to the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov opened up the Zoya. The Baal Shem Tov told him where to go find the horses. In Germany, in the city Breslau, and he found the horses. The Rebbe said, that's what the Baal Shem Tov is using the Zoya to find a few horses. The Nekuda, the Rebbe said, is that who cares horses, about horses, when horses, who cares about horses? Baal Shem Tov cared about the Yid. The Baal Shem Tov cared about the Yid. And when the Yid found the horses, he realized, wow, came to the Baal Shem Tov. When he looks in the Zohar, and he knows where the horses is, it's the Eibishter. So this person's life changed. His whole life changed. The Rebbe said, Amol, that there's a story that the Tzemach Tzedek's wife said, when I taught him the Moifsim
underneath the table.
underneath the table. It's gewalget unter den Tisch. Yeah. That were under the table, that the Moifsim were under the table. And no one bothered to bend down to pick it up. Why? Because they wanted to learn Siddur, they wanted to learn Torah. They didn't want to.
They know it was there?
And they knew it was there, but they never bothered. That means they didn't talk about it, they didn't write books about it, they didn't shturim about it, they didn't tumult about it. There's Chavrusa tumult, there's Chassidus tumult, there's Nisim tumult. They didn't make a Nisim tumult. Rebbe said for it in this generation, we need to make a tumult from Nisim, from Tzaddikim, because that shows us that there's Eibush in the world. Now, sure, we have a Yid, Rabbi Kirschenberg. Kirschenberg has a son-in-law, Dovi Hennig. Dovi Hennig, his mother, when she was a little girl, she was with the school, and they went up to the north of Israel, around Tzfas, and they had a tiyul.
Okay, I caught myself, stop.
What do you mean? There's a shiur going on here. You want to sleep?
Don't embarrass someone, I woke up, I woke
You're
myself up.
embarrassing the whole.
No, I woke, I'm
shiur.
listening to the
Right.
shear, I'm listening to the
If you're
shear.
if you're snoring, you're not listening to the shiur, please. You're not right for everyone else.
I'm listening. You know, why don't you have a gun to my head? You can blow my head brains out the next time you hear it.
What does that have to do with the
Come
gun?
on, I'm listening to the shear.
The
You're
Hegel
disturbing
Mafia show.
everybody.
Oh,
Where should
So-
I go? You're the one that should go. We'll stand up. And
I'm
go to
listening,
sleep.
I'm listening, go ahead.
So what happened was there was a girl, one of the girls took a branch off a tree, and she ripped like a branch off a tree. And this other girl, Govi's mother, got a market in her eye, mamish in her eye, and she was like dead center, Rahman Latzlan, of her eye. Took her to the hospital. Couldn't save the eye. Put glasses on her, so it shouldn't look, and her eyes was pus. The bandage that should look ugly, they put glasses on her. Her father found out there is a Welt's doctor in Boston, and that his doctor's a mumche, an eye doctor's a mumche for this. So Rabbi Grossman came with his daughter to New York, and they had an appointment with this doctor. Before he went to the doctor, he came to 770. And he stood outside 770. The Rebbe saw him with his daughter. And the Rebbe asked, "What are you doing here?" He said that he came with his daughter to get a bracha. They're going to Boston, Chwan al-Islam, because the baby's eye. The Rebbe said, I'm giving you a Makuda was, I'm giving you a bracha that Shabbat see. They went to the doctor, and the doctor looked at her file that they brought from Israel and checked her eye. Said, wow, the improvement is crazy. I mean, it's like, if you showed me the file, I would tell you not to come here. And now that you're here, I see that, there is treatment for the eye. So he started her off on treatment. That Shabbos, he came back from Boston to New York, and he came to the Fabrengen. There was a Fabrengen that Shabbos. By the Fabrengen, the Rebbe called him over, and the Rebbe said he should say L'chaim. He said L'chaim. Rabbi Grossman, Migdal Emek. Then the Rebbe said, "How's your daughter?" So he said, "Better, better." The Rebbe said, "Better." Kilo, like, just better. What was it? When he came home, he didn't bring his daughter to Fabrengen. She had a babysitter, right? Staying in the family per night. He discovered that Shasta Fabrengen, something must have happened. Shasta Rebbe told him, Besed, something must have happened. And Taka, the whole moon went away from the eye. His Taka went for more treatment. She was in cancer. Totally healed.
Moifus.
Moifus. Moifus. Unbelievable Moifus.
It has to be mother.
Yeah.
Rabbi Grossman, the famous one that.
Yeah, the famous Rabbi Grossman. Yes.
Cisco Rabbi.
Yeah, yes.
The one that I think now somebody passed away.
His brother, right? His older brother. Shabbos stories from. There's a doctor here in Flatbush. Telling you a story I'm not supposed to say. There's a doctor here in Flatbush.
You want me to do that?
Don't worry. And I met him recently. We had a very, very sweet encounter. Today I was at the oil. Oh, and the doctor told me that his father was very, very good friends with Rabbi Moshe Kotlarski. Olam Shalom. So I was at the oil, and who do I see? I see Mrs. Kotlarski. We're cousins. I said, Shalom Aleichem. Dr. Pliny and Pliny. We had a very, very pleasant encounter. So she said, yeah, I want to tell you a story, but you're not allowed to tell it to anyone. But well, how can I not tell over a story that I just heard 2 hours ago, a story from the Rebbe? If she didn't want me to tell it, she shouldn't tell me the story. So she said that what happened was that this child was born, and there was a problem. They couldn't see from his eyes. Couldn't see from his eyes.
Is doctor?
This doctor.
When it was a kid.
And yeah, and the baby, the father's Ben Zich, and he was very close to Rabbi Bamzer. So Rabbi Bamzer was also friendly with Rabbi Kotlarski. So Rabbi Bamzer asked Rabbi Kotlarski, I told him that we could, this couple with a baby, if you could organize something. So yeah, he said, no problem. They should come for dollars now. Yeah.
Oh,
So Rabbi Kotlarski had the connections. They came with the baby, and he got them in, and the Rebbe gave him a bracha. The baby should see. Intact. So before the baby got married, so Mrs. Kotlarski tells me that before the baby got married, this is not so long ago, and she said to the father, to Gary, I mean, you're going to go with Reuven to the oil to thank the Rebbe? I don't want Reuven to know that Achmal Islam couldn't see when he was a baby. So please don't walk around telling the story. I don't want Reuven to know about it. So she said, please, but you don't know who Ruvain is. I'm not using his real name. And doctors are flat felt nicht. So I don't think I did anything wrong. But I'm honest. I heard the
So this
story.
doctor totally doesn't know that when he born, he did not.
Yes. Mamish pagashti oto nicht lang tzadik. Man ein bisschen verbracht, וכולי. And she says he doesn't even know at etzem hayom hazeh that Rahman al he couldn't see from his eyes. And it was only because that my husband, she had brought them to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe gave a bracha. So wow. Wow. She said after that, the family became, like, even though they were Shem Torah mitzvahs, but they were stark niskarev to Shmiras HaTorah mitzvahs after this story.
How do you know if a baby can't see? Baby, how do you know if a baby can't see, they can't see?
Very, very complicated question. I don't know. So that's Azay the mindset. So that's the Indian that they ever wanted that after we should yem mesasak with Moifsim, because through that we could see with Mochish and the Rebbe that there were thousands of Moifsim, but through the Moifsim also the Yidden had Gile Lakus. Watch it, Gesenz da Nebeste. And that's the Erech Apayim, how much Ebeste cares for every Yid. And Amela was unbelievable iskarvus and limishli sor lavim shabashamayim. Okay, so I'm still under the roshim of the story. I came from the oil. I came straight back to Crown Heights. I had to pick up my wife, and then I came here. And mamish, I came home like 8 o'clock.
It's a known thing.
Yeah. That's why after Levaya I went to the oil. So that's where I met Mrs. Kotlarski.
Oh, Rabbi Brickman?
Yeah.
He was my Muslim teacher.
Yeah?
And he was my Messiah Kiddushin.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
He
Unbelievable.
once made a hoop over here in this shul on the
Yeah, I
second
remember
floor.
that. The Russian couple who never did it correct.
My Medlushner was a witness in the hooper. He was 14 years old. He said, which hooper 14-year-old who is that? He's a witness.
We get that growing up, the mental option.
Unbelievable.
He was a very
Okay.
nice person.
Unbelievable person. It should be Lili Nishmasai.
Tonight, whenever
Yeah, when we learn tonight, should be Lili Nishmasai, Mechaim
Chaim Meir.
Meir.
And
No, Mechaim.
I don't know. Chaim Meir.
His father is still alive.
Yeah.
And something been seen.
Yeah.
His father's two names?
I should go to see that to go off a while.
Yeah. Yes. I'm a great guy. Okay. Yeah. Terrific Shliach. Unbelievable.
You didn't see it when I got married in '95. I went to see it to his house to learn, so he's been there for a while. I mean, he's only
30
5 years
years.
older than me.
Yeah.
He has a beautiful shul over there.
I know. My cousin told me. Whatever. Like I only know about it because Ellie is very interesting. It's like he always wants to know history. So who was your Messiah Kiddushin? Who? So I told him some Rabbi Rickman who did. And he found for me open, and then today he texted me because he.
Okay, should be Lili Nishmasa, should be a Melitzir. Okay. Do we have a minion?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, minion? Okay, very good. Beide na Forsche, Sarah bis auf Sarah, okay, mach Bros, okay, dann mach Keloim.
Right. I have a lady in the back, very late from yeah.
לא, יש שם אחד. מה אם אני רוצה לשלם? כמה זה עולה? מה? למה? כמה זה עולה? אני אתן לך את הכסף.
לא, מישהו לא יודע את הכסף, בסדר.
לא, אבל אני רוצה להרגיש שאני קניתי.
קח את זה,
ויש לי שם אחד. התניא זה הדבר היחיד שמאוד קשה לי ללמוד סתם ככה באפליקציה, ופה יש,
מאוד קשה, אפילו אם זה קשה גם
אבל יש הסבר בעברית בכל זאת,
גם כן זה קשה.
ויש גם שיחות יפות.
Everybody answer because we are exactly 10.
We have exactly 10 or more.
Exactly 10.
Mike.
והוא מדבר, הוא מדבר שאני אוהב את השאלה פה, ואין. יש לי חדל,
אבל לא מגיע החיוב?
זה הרע, you would have a billion.
I eventually got it.